Hello everybody, Iain Robson here, and welcome to the edition of Agrofrost. Alright, we got a couple things going on today, so we're going to finish off this field today. I didn't get a chance to do anything off camera last night. Just the way it goes, sometimes you get busy doing other things, so we're going to go ahead and fire this guy up. Don't have too much left here, so it shouldn't be too bad. So I guess what I'll do is I'll do this, and I shall... There we go. Had to think about what buttons it was there for a second for some reason. So yeah, so I shall do the harvest in here. And then what we'll do is we will try to get a couple fields planted. We have field 1 and we have field 2. Well, we have field 1. Field 1's almost fully cultivated now, so we can potentially, I say potentially, put something there. Also, we do have a... I don't know if we can use these headers though. That is a 3-row header. I don't know. We might. I'm not sure actually. We might have to double check this. No. Oh, there is a class one. Okay, good. I wasn't sure if this combine had a specific corn header or not. I know it did in 2013, but this header was not the one they used in 2013, so that's why I was kind of curious about that. Sometimes they mix and match some things so they can get to work properly. But this, I don't know why, but I really like this little header here. I think it's what, 6 or 7 meters long. It works really well for especially like this map. It's not a big deal, but if you're playing on like a British map, perhaps it might make a bigger difference because you could just fold up the header and just drive away, sort of thing, which would be really cool if you ask me. I don't think it would hinder that. I wonder how long it actually takes to fold up in real life. Maybe it takes a while. I'm pretty sure it's not as slow as trying to put the header on a trailer, but I don't know. The only problem is once you fold it up and lift it up, fold up the header and lift it up, you end up having to have problems like, hey, I can't see out of the front of my combine, sort of thing, which is not good, of course, but what can you do? Damned if you do, damned if you don't is the expression. So it's funny, often at work I end up having to explain expressions like that because I teach French people, of course, and a lot of times they have no idea what the heck the expression really means, so often I'll have to explain to them what exactly that means, which is fine. I can't slight them for that because their English isn't their first language, so it just makes sense that I'd have to explain it to them. So it's part of my job. Anyhow, let's get this right here. Perfect. Yeah, it's always funny. Apparently, I use a lot of expressions, so I often have to explain it quite a few different times, I guess, because it's not always. May not always be clear the very first time I mention it, so sometimes I'll have to say it in different ways. Sometimes I do know the expression in French as well, so it's not a huge deal, but like there's some really funny expressions. I don't know if you know the expression it's raining cats and dogs. So in French they don't have that same expression, but they do have an expression where it's raining, what is it? It's raining rope. It's like Il pleut les lignes et cordes, which is like it's raining rope essentially. So if you think of it visually, the way it works is that's like a long piece of rope falling from the sky. So that makes more sense than cats and dogs, but I don't know. I don't know why they have that. Well, in French it makes a bit more sense than cats and dogs, but there's lots of funny expressions for French people as well. There's one I encountered the other day, which was walking backwards to work, which basically means you don't want to go to work. It's kind of funny. Oh man, there's so many great expressions out there. Alright, so let's go through a couple of the comments from the previous episode. So we got Gage, or Kate Gage? No, that's a G, Gage. He asks, how do you turn on the beacons? So of course you turn on the beacons by pressing the home key. In this case, these beacons came on because he has over 80% fill level, which generally means he needs to be unloaded. Misk says, just subbed, keep going. Thank you very much. What else we got? Robert O'Brien. It's not together. It's Robert space O space Brian. So I suppose O'Brien together was taken, and that's why he went for O space Brian, which is cool. I used to know a couple O'Briens back in the day. He asks, what's the mod that shows the percentage of water that is in the bales? As I mentioned in the comments, that is the bale extension mod. You can get that off Mod Hoster. It's the bale extension mod. Really cool, nifty little mod. Probably one of the most recent ones. Well, I guess not one of the most recent, but one of the recent ones that I really think is cool. Because it does show you like the moisture level of bales. If you bale in the sun or if you bale in the rain, it has an effect on whether the bales are going to be top quality or not top quality. And I think that's kind of a cool, a really, I don't know, an added level or layer to the game. I guess you could call it metagame, I suppose. I don't know. Alright, let's grab that Ursus here. It's funny. I don't know, there's a couple Ursus that came out not too long ago. There's one, it's an Ursus 1604, I think it is. I know Caravera76 did a mod spotlight on that particular one. I'm pretty sure it's that one. At least it looked like that in the pictures. Whoa. It looked like that in the pictures. I have actually used that particular one in 2013. If it is the same one, it's a fantastic mod. Assuming they where is it? Pipe out? No. Start dumping. There we go. Assuming it was, assuming it is the same mod and it's done just as well in 2015 as it was in 2013. I don't know for sure, but in 2013 it was a pretty slick mod. The gear shifters changed, so like when you're in, is that going to continue to look good? So when you're in, like the knot, like these would move, for example. It would shift between gears, the pedals would move. I don't know if though all that is in, oops, let's do this then. I don't know if all that is in the mod for 2015, because a lot of the scripting that we had in 2013 isn't available as of yet in 2015. So it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I'm really looking forward to the time when Giants decides to release their documentation. Until then, we're kind of left in the dark. Alright, so this is going to be interesting. So I'm going to go through the hills because I just want to see what it's like with an actual load of wheat. Oof. How much horsepower does this tractor have? Seems a bit shy on this hill. Ursus. Yeah, I thought I had 150 horsepower. Doesn't seem like 150 horsepower going up this hill. Wow. I suppose that's why sometimes they have tractors that have a bit more horsepower than 150. I mentioned this in one of the previous episodes where it seems likely that farmers who have to farm on hilly terrain tend to go for slightly more powerful tractors. This kind of came up in the old series Lomerheim, where that was the more realistic series I did in 2013. It came up a little bit there when I talked about, oops, that's a tree, and don't run into the tree. I came up a little bit there when we were trying to do things like cultivating or plowing. Those like they're like little sand pits or mud holes kind of thing. That's cool. So it came up in that series where you didn't have, if you were cultivating on flat ground, it wasn't a problem. But as soon as you added a hill into there, it made your life infinitely more difficult. So, and it's the same thing in this game. Like, as I've shown you a couple times now, when you are cultivating yourself and don't have a hard worker or not using GPS, you can definitely see this, how much the vehicle slides. Whoa. Definitely see how much it slides when you're going downhill. Like right now, you can definitely see the weight behind this particular vehicle with this trailer here. Although I'm pretty sure if I was to go down a hill like this with this much grain in here, I think it would spill a little bit. Just saying. But it's funny, if I had different gears, I'd probably put it in a low gear and use that to slow the vehicle down. I'm not sure. I don't know if that's an engine. No, that wouldn't be an engine brake. I guess it'd just be downshifting. Oh, there's that big hole again. It would just be downshifting, but I believe that's what you're supposed to do. Ooh, I always get stuck. What is it stuck on? Oh, I know what's happening. Yeah, let me just show you guys. I don't know if you can see that or not. So that little part right there is actually getting stuck on, once we go down the hole with these tires, it's actually clipping on this little part up here. So it's almost like we need a trailer with a high ground clearance. Almost. Alright, let's sell this and see what we get. Alright, so we're at $23,000, and we could actually, this might push us over the top in order to get enough money for, of course, a corn header, because we do have that one field which is planted in corn. It is 19. Yeah, 19 is planted in corn. There's no soybeans on this map. That just seems that way. We own that field too, and that's potatoes? Jeez. Anyway, so this field's corn, so maybe we'll have to get a... that's annoying. I guess this was supposed to be like a route type, map, but I unintentionally vetoed that by selling all of that stuff. I guess I really shouldn't have in the end. Oh well. I don't think I sold it on camera, but that's probably something I did off camera, just going through and just saying, nope, don't need that, don't need that. We're not going to go up the hill this time. We're just going to go around. It's a lot faster just going around the hill than going up and down the hill, but, well, I can't say it's a lot faster, but it definitely is faster. Jake asks, in Euro Truck, I'm still getting used to my G27, so I keep flipping over when I take sharp turns. Yeah, I imagine it's something that, that's something I had to get used to just using a keyboard and mouse. Because I'm using a really big truck in Euro Truck, I'm using a Peterbilt 389 with a sleeper cab on it. If I take turns too quickly and too sharply, it definitely makes for an awful situation. So, I definitely sympathize with you on that one, Jake. It's not easy to do if you're not careful. Ross asks, what is the mod that groups my vehicles together? That's called the Vehicle Switcher mod, or the Vehicle Group mod. I should be able to get that on FS-UK, and I believe Jake produced a link, so thank you again, Jake, which is excellent. I always appreciate when people do that. Sometimes I just don't get the time to respond to a comment right away, so it's always nice to get that immediate feedback, I guess is what I'm thinking of. There we go. Yeah, so it's always nice to get that immediate feedback, so I appreciate it when people produce the appropriate link to a question like that, so thank you. Shug, I guess is how you pronounce the name. He or she says, there was a New Holland TF78 I used quite a lot. I'm assuming he means in 2013, because I know exactly which one he's talking about. Which occasionally needed oil changes. So yes, he's talking about the same one. Occasionally needed oil changes, and that is a pretty cool little nifty change or addition to that particular mod. So you needed oil change when the oil got to a certain level. Oh, you're still doing this, are you? Alright. That's fine. Good thing that is non-collidable as well. I guess I'll help this guy and finish this off for him, because apparently he can't do it himself. Alright. It's funny, I just thought of I was looking at this thing called a button box not too long ago. I don't know if anybody... I think the only person who might know what a button box off the top of my head is Jammin000, but I don't think he watches my channel. The reason why he would know what it is because he has a button box himself. Anyways, basically what a button box is exactly what it sounds like, a box with buttons on it. But the really cool thing about that is the fact that the buttons are like mechanical buttons as opposed to just like, it's not like your keyboard where you just press a button like that. It's more like, what would be a good way of describing it? It's a metal switch, and it's, think about in an airplane when you have like metal switches where you're like, you know, engaging certain things. It's like a, how would I describe it? Yeah, I guess that's the best way I can think of it. It's like an airplane where you have like a metal switch that toggles up or toggles down. Anyways, the button box the button box I was looking at had like a row of 6 of those, and it would be I don't know why, like I've gone from like 0 to 60, and I'm always like this when it comes to things. I'm like, okay, I don't do it at all, and then I go 100% into it. I've done that for so many different things I can't even think about. Like last year, what was it last year? Last year, a year ago, 2 years ago maybe, I got really into like building websites and stuff like that, and I did that. I made like, you know, I don't know, 7 or 8 websites, and I was like, yeah, and like went 100% on that. And then now this year, I'm like, I have the website still, but I don't. I'm not as keen on it as I was the previous years. That's always happens. Makes me laugh. And then this year, I've gone from not having a steering wheel, or not thinking about any kind of extra, I guess we'll call them peripherals, because I guess that's what they would kind of be. Not having any peripherals, to thinking about getting a button box, and considering, like in the far future, considering making a cockpit for driving and stuff like that. Kind of gone from one extreme to the other. I'm pretty bad for that kind of stuff. Although I don't do it often, so it's not that bad. Like most of the time, extremes for me are like, you know, going from not having a steering wheel to having a steering wheel. Like, it's never for anything bad. It's just usually for geeky things, I suppose. But anyways. And Shug also talks about the Class Dominator 80. It was based on the Class Dominator, which indeed is true. So, yeah, anyways, this button box, it's kind of cool because in the middle of the button box, they have a big red button, which could be used as your ignition button, which is really cool. So it's like you hit that to start your tractor or start your truck. Jammin uses it for, I think his name's actually Jamie. He uses it for Euro Truck primarily, and he uses it to start his truck. It's kind of cool. When you watch his videos, he hits the button and it's like, engage. That's what goes through my mind every single time. So he's got that, and I think he's got his engine brake on one of the metal switches as well. It's pretty cool. If you're wondering, if you really want to see, if you're really curious about what the heck I'm talking about, you can ask me in the comments about it, and I'll give you a link to it. But you'll have to remind me, because I don't know which episode this is off the top of my head. But it is a pretty cool little box. It's actually not that expensive either. Like, normally you think something like that would be kind of expensive, but it's not. It's actually like $100 or something like that, which isn't terribly expensive. And as far as I know, it is of very high build quality. The guy who makes it, his name is Derek Spears, and Jamie or Jammin, he has a link in his description as to what it is, and I checked it out and I was like, wow, it's kind of cool. It's not as expensive as I anticipated, so I was like, maybe in the future I'll get that. My problem would be is, where the heck would I put it? I've seen a couple people, it has like a big plastic lip around it, so you could actually use it on your desk, and you could Velcro it to your desk. I just don't know how well the Velcro would hold it down to your desk. So, just a thought. But usually, because the reason behind like the big lip is primarily because they would use it in like a console of a vehicle of some sort. So you would have like a dashboard type scenario. Most likely be a piece of plywood, and you'd cut a hole in the piece of plywood for your for the button box itself. But I don't think I'm gonna go that far quite yet. Although I'm pretty sure I could convince my father-in-law to. Or even my brother-in-law to help me out. Actually, my brother-in-law is pretty good with welding, so I'd be like, let's make a metal frame, and he would probably be all for it. I just don't know if he'd have the time to do it. He actually, I remember a while ago, he helped a buddy out, and he actually, I believe he welded a box. I'm not sure you'd even call it a frame for. What would it be? I guess this is how I'll describe it. It's a frame for his buddy's truck. And basically went in the back of the truck, and I think the guy he did it for was an arborist, so he had like lots of like ladders and chainsaws and stuff like that. So my brother-in-law actually made that for him, like a frame, so he could put a whole bunch of stuff. I think he made it out of what is that stuff called? I don't know. I'm trying to think of the name. It's normally stuff you would walk on. I think it's like chrome, but it has like diagonal embossed parts in it, so it usually goes on a lot of trucks. Anyways, I think he made part of it out of that, and some of it out of maybe I don't think angle iron, but apparently I didn't see the final result, but apparently it is a very, very good looking box for this truck, so maybe one day I'll see it, but I haven't seen it yet. This guy's probably chilling out here because he's full. Oh no, he's still going. Awesome. Yeah, so maybe I'll check that out one day. But I'm sure he'd be all for it. He probably would think it was pretty weird, but after I describe what I would be doing, he was like, okay, that's kind of cool. He actually plays Farming Simulator too. I think he plays Farming Simulator 13 on the Xbox, I want to say. So he realized that it kind of sucks because you don't get any of the mods and whatnot, so. But he still enjoys himself, and I remember talking to him for the very first time after I found out he played Farm Sim, and I was like, oh, what do you think of Farm Sim? And he's like, oh, it's pretty cool. One thing I really hate about it, though, is the fact that the physics for the bales aren't exactly realistic, and it was really funny having that conversation with him. I'm like, yeah, well, they are supposed to be quote-unquote realistic, but it doesn't always work out that way. But it was a good little conversation we had about that. But it could be cool. So yeah, like I said, if you're interested in that button box, that's what it's called. It's called a button box. And if you're interested, let me know in the comments, and I'll fire out a link for you guys if people are interested. Sorry, I had to get a sip of coffee there. Are we going to finish this field or not? We'll see. I don't think, let me just double check, I'm pretty sure our seeder is a little too powerful for our John Deere, depending who you're, no, maybe it's not. This has 135? Ooh, maybe it's not too powerful then. That guy is empty, so we'll just put the parking brake on here, hop back into our John Deere. Yeah, I think you'd say John Deere if you were of Scandinavian descent, and that's only because that sound is not ja. I suppose the J sound is not common. I don't know where that came from, but I have a couple friends who are from that area, part of the world, so they, instead of saying John, they would say Jan. I think that's because that would be John in their language. It's cool by me. Some people might say as long as it's a John Deere, but oh, there's that little part over here we missed too. Actually, I don't even need to cultivate this. Why did I even cultivate that if I'm going to seed it? Oh my goodness. I don't know. It seemed like the right thing to do. That must have been the reason why I did that. I don't know. Doesn't look like we have any apples on there. I think the reason why we did it originally was because we were going to do something else with that field, but for some reason it just dawned on me the fact that the seeder we have is a no-till seeder, so I really don't have to cultivate first. Let's just assume the reason why we cultivated that field was because we wanted to make sure the sugar beets went back into the soil to fertilize it. Yeah, that will be the reason why we cultivated, even though we didn't really need to. Just look away. Anyways. Alright. Let's park this in our shed. I suppose I could use this. I should show you how that works. It looks, it's a trailer. But the really cool part is, like I said last time, David Oldfield made that from scratch, which is awesome. So he could officially say, I made that from scratch. Which is pretty darn awesome if you ask me. Now, this seeder says it needs 130, and this has 135 horsepower, so theoretically we do have enough horsepower, but as we are well aware, sometimes that is questionable. Let's take a quick look at what we have in the field. We have barley there. That's going to be the orchard. And we planted, oh, that's wheat there, but that's been harvested, and this has been cultivated. So we should plant maybe wheat here, and maybe canola in 12. I think that's what we'll do. I don't know why I totally forgot about that whole not needing to cultivate first. I'm not sure, but those information things come up every single time. Maybe it's the automatic help. I probably could turn that off, actually. Automatic help off. There we go. Show icons on map. Oops. Don't need to go here. Ah well, momentary lapse of reason, I suppose, is the reason why I totally blipped on the fact that I don't need to cultivate. I just thought it looked cool, so maybe that's why I continued doing it. It was a Stocko Glass moment. He would say, I know, I don't need to cultivate first, but I just think it's the right thing to do. And so in that context, I guess I thought it was the right thing to do. C'est la vie. Alright, here. So, let's get this guy started on this field here. Now what's going to be the best way to start? Whoa. A little bit of weight behind that guy. What do we say on this field? Wheat. I don't know why I have all these things. Yes, wheat was on this field here. So, let's get this guy started. Like this, like this. I don't need that offset. There we go. Let's do that. Turn it on. Unfold it. Silly unfold thing. And then lower. And we should be good to go. Indeed, we did not need to. It helps when I follow the right path too. Whoops. There we go. Like I said, it helps when you follow the path correctly. Apparently I didn't put it in the right mode, which is unfortunate, but whatever. Alright, let's do a little turn here. Yeah, this guy doesn't seem to have a problem with this particular portion. Or this particular... Oh, that's weird. Wonder why he's missed all that. No, he's definitely not in the right... is he? Huh. I was gonna say, it doesn't look like he's the right width at all. That's strange. Sometimes I don't know why that happens, but sometimes, depending on the vehicle itself, it doesn't always analyze the correct width of the implement for whatever reason. It happens. Can't expect the GPS mod to be 100% all the time, right? So it's set to 3.3, and I believe that it is only 3 meters wide, if memory serves. 3 meters. Yeah, let's go ahead and just adjust that to 3 meters. Offset working with here. There we go. Perfect. Let's get that started up here. Anyways, folks, I think what I'll do is not drop it down right there, but turn around here, and I'll let this guy do his thing. And I think I'll stop the episode there for now. So, having said all that, folks, yes, I realized I didn't need to cultivate this first, but now it looks nice to seed, I suppose, so we'll leave it at that. So my name is Iain Robson, this has been Farming Simulator 2015, coming at you from Agrofrost. And again, if you guys are interested in about that button box, let me know in the comments, I'll leave a link for you guys. Talk to you guys later.